Hello, everyone. On today's episode of The Inner Estate, I'm so thrilled to have as my special guest, Kereen Henry. Kereen Henry is rainmaker, agent, owner, and founder of the Kereen Henry Luxury Group out of Atlanta, Georgia. And today, Kereen and I are going to jump in on something so exciting. It is elevating with AI. She has been so creative in the way that she applies and utilizes AI tools, and she's going to share that with all of us today. Kereen, first off, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And I am going to throw this to you. I loved your phrasing of elevating with AI. Would you sort of just share with everyone what that means to you and give us an overview of how you're using AI? Just jump straight in. Let us know how we could elevate with AI.
That means to me is just kind of upping my game with AI. I'm doing everything with AI. It makes it faster. It makes it just more cohesive. I don't have to think through a lot of things like I would before, making sure there are no typos, making sure there's no grammar, because I'm very in tune with that. So I was always double checking and triple checking. So it saves a lot of time for me to just kind of throw it into ChatGPT or Gemini and have it fix it all and be on to the next project or on to the next thing. Use it for flyers. I pretty much everything that I need to do fast that I can use AI for. It's so many things that I just kind of think of off the whim, and I just kind of put it in AI and see which platform works best.
Well, it's funny, and that's why I really wanted to discuss this topic with you, because you have actually expanded it outside of work.
Yes.
You are using AI in almost every area of your life, right?
Right.
And without giving away too much, I feel like you have taken this beyond. So here's what I think a lot of people are doing right now. They're like, oh, I want this email to sound better, or oh, I need help making that agenda for the meeting. Let me open AI and I'll just ask it to make an agenda for a meeting. You've taken it well beyond that type of usage.
Yes.
And you're using it at work and you're using it at home. So can you share, well, A, B, you're training your AI?
Yes.
So I'm going to let you pick what do you think is the most impactful, but go ahead and start sharing a little bit more about how you're doing all of that.
The most impactful for me was teaching AI everything about me. So especially ChatGPT, my initial thing was I'm always telling it about myself, what I do, where I live, everything about me that is pretty much all online anyway, but everything that it needs to know to help me function. So when it rewrites something, I say, hey, I need a bio for this event real quick. And I tell it what type of event it is. ChatGPT knows, okay, everything about me. Let me rewrite a bio to cater to this particular event. But that just came from over time, me teaching Chat all about me. The same thing with Gemini, just kind of teaching it how I would like to respond, who I'm catering to when I respond, just to make sure that everything is kind of cohesive across the board with ChatGPT and Gemini.
Now, you actually took some specific steps to teach your AI about you. Could you share a little bit about how you did that and really get into some specifics? Because I know there's people listening right now that are like, well, yeah, I want to do that, but how do I do it? So walk them through what you did so that your ChatGPT, your Gemini would know you specifically.
So I say, hey, my name is Kereen Henry. I am an associate broker at Keller Williams out of Atlanta, Georgia. I am originally from Canada. I'll tell it, hey, I told it I wasn't married. I live in Midtown. I say, let's see. I talk about Instagram. I'll tell it how many followers I have on Instagram and on Facebook. Just all of this just to gather data, how I got into real estate. I started off as an investor and then I transitioned into just working with buyers and sellers. And now I do have a lot of luxury clients. However, I work all price points. I always try to throw that in there as well.
Right.
Write something for me that's just catered to luxury. I tell it my target areas that I like to work. So when I spit stuff out, it tells my target areas that I like to work in. I also have an athletic club, so I'll feed in stuff like that about me liking to stay active and social.
Right.
And so it'll also throw in there sometimes, in her times off, she likes to golf over at, Bears Best, because I'll tell it that, I like
right.
My favorite golf course is Bears Best, and I love tournaments out there. Just anything that I could think of that in the future, and it saves it. It says memory saved.
It does.
Later on, I ask it something, and with everything that I've given them, it rewrites it and sends it out to me.
When you're doing that exercise, are you using the speech tool? So are you hitting the microphone and speaking into the AI, or are you typing it?
I'm speaking it.
Mm-hmm.
Much
I do too.
faster. Yeah. So it's way faster than kind of talking into it. Now it can just kind of spit something out because it knows how I would like it, but I'm pretty much speaking it because it's faster.
Well, and one of the reasons that I like to speak with my AI as well is it will sound just like you faster
hmm
because it will pick up on the nuances of how you speak.
Yes. And then there are other times if I'm depending on who I'm messaging, I'll say make it sound more like me. And then I'll
Yes.
rewrite it to make it sound more like me.
Right, right. Did you add in anything like your favorite movies, your favorite music, your favorite songs? Did you add in anything like that?
No, I didn't. That's a good idea, but I did not.
I did do that. So once I put in, huge fan of Monty Python. I even told it some of my favorite Monty Python quotes and movies, similar with Anchorman. And so I've noticed after I added in some of my favorite lyrics, music, bands, and movies, maybe it's my mind perceiving something that's not there, but I feel like now it sounds even more like me. So you might want to do that and play around with that too. Yeah. So. So now my sister was like, great. Now I have to hear that Anchorman quote again, not just from you, but also from your AI. I was like, yes, that's true. You're just going to have to deal with it. So I think that taking the time to do that, as you said, it makes everything faster and in your voice and in your style and in your tonality. And then, as you mentioned, if you know this is going to a target audience, like if you were being invited to the event, it's the event bio, and you would let them know the target audience so they know what to focus on and how to make that sound. I would love it if you would share, because you've done a couple of things that I thought were so creative with your AI. Could you share a couple of the things that you've used it for that are a little bit surprising?
I now use it for all my marketing, emails and text, but here's what I will say. I have now trained my AI to market like Ryan Serhant.
Nice. Very good.
So when
There you go.
I'll be like, make it sound like Ryan Serhant. I want all of my marketing materials to sound like Ryan Serhant. Speak like him. So it will now throw something out, and at the end it will say, just like Serhant, the Serhant style, or to make it sound
Right.
like. So there's that I've used. The other day I wanted some new makeup, and I was like, I want to know what the top makeup companies or that I should use for oily skin, and I put in there that I had oily skin. I put my complexion. I don't know. I said I put that I do a lot of transference because I'm always touching my face and touching my clothes. I want to make sure that it doesn't transfer. And that it just told me to make sure I got a setting spray because I wasn't using a setting spray before. But when I went in and I spoke with the lady at Sephora, I had a whole list that, ChatGPT had told me. And from the foundation down, everything it told me to get, I've been using it and I love it.
That's amazing. So that is one of the ones, because I didn't prep you on what we were going to discuss. And that is one of the creative ways that I thought was really outside of the box to use it, is that you did a whole makeup consultation with it and that you love everything that it recommended.
Well, initially they gave me this dewy watermelon thing that I purchased, and it was oily. And so then I tried it, and I was like, this is oily. It's making I came into the office, and one of my coworkers was like, your face looks oily. I was like, really? And then so I went back to ChatGPT. I said, here's all the items you told me to buy, and now my face is oily. And then it pointed out that one item and told me to switch it out. So I went back and switched out to the new item and said to get. And now
Excellent. When I think about work you and I have done together in terms of building your business and really honing in on making that client experience with both sellers and buyers, but really we were focused predominantly on sellers when I'm thinking about this particular exercise. We were talking about how prior to a listing appointment, you can use your AI to prepare for that listing appointment and really customize it to that client. And when we talked about it in particular, just one thing I want to share, we talked about how if you know the competition in the area, you can actually talk to chat and say, how would my brokerage compare with the other brokerages for this particular listing? And you can use it to find ways that you might want to either mentally prepare or be prepared to handle that objection prior to going to the meeting. So have you had a chance to play around with the AI in preparing for your consultations with your sellers so that you can really customize it to what's best for them?
I have a little bit. I think I need to do more about that. I did do a relocation client the other day, and they have the whole, I think it's BMO, I forgot what it is that I have to fill out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was asking a bunch of questions about the area, the community, and all of that. So what I did was I put that now into ChatGPT with all of the questions that they asked me. So now I can put in there, hey, this area, this address, give me a list of things, and it will provide all of that data about that community and everything around it for whatever house I'm going to.
That's awesome. Good. So you're using it with relocation clients. You're using it as you're preparing for the appointments.
Yes.
I think that when you are using it to either show properties or meet with potential sellers, are you asking ChatGPT the best ways that those clients may receive information? Have you played around with that yet?
No.
So I think it's very fun. So if you happen to know the personality types of the clients that you're going to meet with, you can actually interact with your GPT because your GPT already knows you. And you can say, I think these clients have this concern. What would you recommend in terms of things to make sure that I cover when I'm meeting with them? So it will take what you give it about the client, and then it will tell you ways that you can approach a difficult conversation in a way that they're likely going to be able to hear it from you in the best way.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't. That's a great idea.
Yes, I have several clients that are doing that right now. And one of the things they'll do, so we know that not always, but a lot of times certain career paths are indicative of certain personality types.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly all CPAs are highly analytical, right? So there's certain areas where that can be part of it. So if you just do a deep dive, as deep as you're able, with your clients prior to meeting them and share what you know about your clients with AI. Ask AI. You know what I do before I meet with a client? I say, because I always talk to mine too. So I will just say, tell me everything you know about Betty Lou Bick Bick in Sun Valley, Idaho. And I'll just see what it brings up. And it will let me know, everything that it can find about the person I'm going to be meeting with. And I think that that will allow you to feel more confident in your preparation work as you're meeting with these clients. And it will allow you to make them feel more comfortable more quickly.
That is a great tool. I never thought about that. And what's odd is I did have an assistant a while back that I would have do research on the clients prior to meeting with them, find their Facebook pages, see whatever it is I can find so
Right.
that I can meet them, because it was that book that I had read that talked about hotel experience.
Yes. Is it the Ritz-Carlton one?
Yes. And how
Yes.
they know your name, they know you, they know things that you'll like before you even get there. And it's because of them doing their research prior to.
Right.
So
So
that is
now you can do it with your chat. Did you name your chat?
no.
I haven't either.
I've been thinking, but what am I going to call it?
It's very funny. Apparently, if you ask it what its name is, it will actually do a back and forth with you, and it will name itself based on your conversation. So one of my clients just did that about 2 weeks ago, and their AI named itself Sage after their conversation. You know me, I'm a high D. I was like, I will name the chat GPT. So I'm already thinking, I like Fergus, but Fergus is my robot vacuum. So I'm going to have to start thinking about what I'll name my chat.
I don't know. I think as a child, I named everything John John. I was talking about that the other day. All the fish, the pets, everything was named John John. Then I got older. I think I named everything Kate.
Oh,
My car name is Kate. Everything is Kate.
that is funny.
So now,
My RV is named Prudence. So, but yeah, so jumping back to the topic at hand, is there any other way that you are using it that anyone who might be listening to us, anyone who encountered our podcast and they're listening to our conversation, hopefully they're enjoying a cup of coffee and they feel like they're right here with us. What other things do you think they could do with AI that may have an impact just on how they're operating every day.
Is it just with ChatGPT, or could it be other
Well, it
platforms?
could be other ones. That's why I keep trying to remind myself to say AI in general. So it could be others for sure.
Yes, I use Productive AI quite a bit. It's kind of
Okay.
off and on, but I use Productive AI, and it is actually an app that's attached to my phone. And
Hmm.
it's about $19 a month. And when you call, it says, Kereen Henry Luxury Group, what have you, and this call is being recorded. So it records the call and then puts everything in my CRM. It's attached to my CRM. So if it's a client, I can choose to turn off the recording or keep it on, and it'll record the whole conversation. It's linked to Command. So it knows the phone number to know where to log the notes from that call. So I don't have to kind of go back and think about it. If I don't use that, or if they call, some people have my personal phone number.
Hmm.
Once I get off the phone, I'll pretty much speak it into notes and then put it in
Nice.
ChatGPT and say, write this for my CRM. And then when I get to the office or something, I'll just copy and paste it into the CRM.
And your CRM you're using as Command, which is
Hmm.
the Keller Williams CRM, right?
Yes.
Yeah, great. And you're with, remind me again, it's Keller Williams
Keller Williams
Atlanta
Atlanta.
Partners. Yes. Okay, excellent. In Tucker. Okay. So that is really a time saver, especially for agents that are, say, solo agents or a smaller team, to be able to have that type of assistance in logging those inbound calls. That's fantastic. Have you had anyone push back or have any questions around it?
You asking if I had anyone
Yes.
question the call? No, I have two phones. So it's not on my personal phone, it's on my business phone. So if you're calling that phone, then you know me, professionally. So, that's really what it is at that particular point. If we move to a point where it's a private conversation, I can either turn it off, or you're someone that has my personal number to call me privately.
Nice.
Been having two phones for a long time. So if they're calling that number, it's a business relationship.
Excellent. Are you using AI to prioritize any tasks or using it for any type of scheduling input?
I don't know. I've been trying to get it to build my schedule, but it keeps me on a tight rope. I said, okay, I want to make sure I time block this amount of hours. I want to make sure that I work out. I need time to wind down at night. I want to practice the soft life. So I want to get up and drink my matcha tea. And now, it's just got me on this tight ship, and I can't. So I have to figure out how to get it to work for me. And then I also say, hey, I need, 5 hours of leisure time to do whatever I want to do in the afternoon. And so it's trying to figure it out for me, but I'm going to keep talking to it and see how I can get it to help me manage my
Okay.
schedule better.
All right. Well, that is really good. Do you feel, so you and I both know, even though we have fully embraced AI in many different areas of our business and our life, we both know that there are people out there that either hesitate or they feel nervous to just jump in with both feet. What would you say to someone who's out there that might be nervous about using AI?
I would say your competition is using it.
That's
And
right.
they're gaining faster. They're getting more market share at a faster pace by using AI. So you can choose not to use it. However, you will be outpaced by the market and your competition that is choosing to take advantage of the tools that they have access to.
Right. What would you say to someone if they told you they were concerned that AI is going to take over humanity, if it's going to become out of control? What would you say to them?
I would say you as one person not using it isn't going to change it. It won't stop it. There's things that we can control and there's things that we can't. I'm a type D personality as well. I see things in black and white, and regardless if we don't use it, or this one person not using it isn't going to change the trajectory of AI.
Correct. Yeah. Someone notify Sarah Connor, because it's happening right now.
It's happening.
What you brought up about competition is critical. And I don't see that it is going to replace humans, but I do think, as you said, the companies, the teams, the service providers that lean into it to create efficiency and add more humanity back into the experience, because you're able to process so much and prepare in such a way that you're improving the overall experience for your client, regardless of what industry you're in. So I would say, as you have said, lean into it. Lean into it. It is here. The cat is not going back in the bag. It is, what else could we say? The train has left the station.
Yes.
right? Like this is the baby has been born. It's not going back, right? So just lean in on it. And one other thought that I have in this area is I do feel if you allow AI in its various forms to take care of more of the research, grindy type work, assessing, and then you come in and you're still taking the time to review what it has found and created. And then you're able to spend more time in relationships and face to face with people and having meaningful connections or networking or even sharing and teaching and presenting. Because I do know you present, you're often invited to be a guest speaker at different events for different industries. Using AI is actually going to allow the human to do more of the human things because less of their time will be spent doing the solo research things where you're not engaging. You'll be able to be more engaging because you're allowing the efficiencies of the AI to make you even better. What do you think about that?
I agree. It gives me so much time back. I think that my personality, I'm very social, but then I also love doing admin work. I come from a corporate background.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm comfortable just being in the office doing this admin work. When I need to be out in my profession, socializing and networking and talking to people instead of just being in the office for 8 hours a day.
Right.
So now AI has cut that time, in half to where things are just getting done faster. A lot of things are automated. And I now have more time to kind of socialize and network and go out for a drink and not think that, oh, I have all this work left to do for the day.
Right. Yes. There you go. You said it much more succinctly than I did. It's allowing you to have more work-life balance while still selling at a high volume and still giving incredible customer service to every client. So and then you're able to still also have a life.
Yes.
All
Because
right.
real estate has so many tasks. I feel like I was always in task debt. And then someone said to me one day, they're like, you can't finish Netflix. It's like, you're right. I can't finish Netflix. So
That's
now
right.
you can't finish Netflix.
Right.
So now I'm just consistently trying to finish the important tasks and then kind of go on with my life that in having AI help, I'm getting much more done, getting closer to finishing Netflix, but never finish Netflix, but getting closer to finishing majority of my tasks. But there's a lot of things that I just think of, or a ChatGPT might give me an idea of, I'll ask it, what are 10 things I could be doing better for my business? This is what I'm doing for sellers.
That's
This is what
right.
I'm doing for buyers. I have it all written down. I have like a real estate Bible is what I call it. And once I get a new buyer, it walks through my process of
Mhm.
what I'm supposed to do from that first interaction with that potential buyer or buyer once we go under contract. And so I've put that in ChatGPT. How can I make this better? What should I add to this? So it kind of documents my entire process. So if there's ever a time like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? I'll go back to that and know what my next tasks are.
That's awesome. And you bring up a good point in our industry because our chosen industry is real estate. So often agents struggle with creating systems, checklists, and processes that gives a good core, here's what we do for every client with some variations depending on is it a niche property, is it waterfront, is it a horse property, but the core elements that would apply to everything, having that system created. And I think you're actually onto something. If someone is struggling with having systems, they could literally create the skeleton of a system for each area of their real estate business. They could do one a week for the next 12 weeks. And by the end of summer, boom, like how amazing would that be? Well, I know you and I could talk about this for a long time. I do want to share one example from one of my other clients. They're not car people. Now, I love cars. I think you know that. So I could go car shopping and deliberate that and enjoy it. They do not. They use ChatGPT to help them figure out what two cars they should pick between. And they gave it all of the information that it's going to be a business car. They wanted to know tax ramifications. How could they maximize this? If they put in everything they wanted, and then they had it narrowed down to what Chat would say would be the two best cars. They set up 2 appointments, and I'm waiting to hear which car they bought. But just so, like you have done, if you're trying to figure something out, go to your go to your AI and see what it says.
And it's so much more efficient than Google because it's pulling from Google, it's pulling from
Right.
everywhere to get
Right.
you all the information just faster as opposed to going to Google and I got to click all these different places and read through all of this. It's gathering all the information for you and bringing it in one place. So I like that
Well,
for the car though. I'm not buying a car anytime soon, but when I do,
next time you do, you will
yes.
definitely do that, right? So very good. Well, this has been really delightful. Again, so Kereen Henry, CEO, founder, rainmaker, great real estate agent with the Kereen Henry Luxury Group, operating out of Keller Williams Atlanta Partners in Tucker, right?
Yes.
If someone wanted to reach out to you, what's your preferred method of communication?
They can reach me on my website is www.kereenhenry.com. That's KereenHenry.com or on Instagram at Kereen Henry. Again, all E's Henry, or my phone number is 4.
Now, when they call that number, are they going to get to interact with your virtual receptionist?
Yes.
Excellent. So say that number one more time because I think some people are going to want to reach out.
Yes.
Excellent. So anyone, if you have any real estate needs in that Atlanta area, make sure you reach out for Kereen. Kereen, thank you so much. And I just really appreciate you being here and sharing everything that you've done recently, incorporating AI into elevating your life. So thank you for sharing that.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me.